There were a lot of movies this year. Not a lot of them good because Hollywood's in a crappy state. So I didn't actually watch a lot of movies this year, which shocked me. Well, I watched movies this year, but not a lot of the new movies this year. So we'll get into that. So the first of these is a direct DVD release, Legion of Superheroes. This is part of DC's new Tomorrowverse lineup. Overall, it basically Supergirl is the main character. Okay, we got like a little intro to her, and I'm like, okay. And this is it. I do like it takes the fact that Superman knows the Legion of Superheroes, like that whole weird thing where he was like in the Legion as Superboy for a bit, and all that weird hokey nonsense. They do try to incorporate that he at least knows the Legion still somewhat. Um, and he sends Supergirl to the future because she's a bit reckless, and from there Supergirl meets the Legion, and it's the standard case of like, oh, the B team's here while the A team's gone, so the B team have to unite and prove that they are actually just as good as the A team to stop the threat, and that's pretty much the point of the movie. The villain is there's like a twist villain in there, and I'm like, of course, because for some reason these movies love taking established heroes and turning them into villains for no reason. And once they did it again with this one, I was like, ah, of course, this one's the villain, huh? But they do take an interesting reveal on who the mastermind behind the whole thing is. That is an interesting reveal. And it makes something I thought was a bit stupid in a previous one of these movies better. Like, they didn't just throw this character away after his little cameo in a previous one. And of course, there's Brainiac 5 in there, and if anyone knows comics, Supergirl, Brainiac 5, that's the thing, and they do the kind of enemies to lovers thing. Overall, it was a okay movie. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. It's nothing crazy, it's just okay. The next movie was Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I did not see this in theaters, and maybe I should have. Maybe it would have helped them, because this movie died in theaters. Probably didn't help with the fact that James Gunn announced that, yeah, none of these upcoming DC movies, none of them matter. So, I liked the first Shazam movie, so I was going into this pretty happy. You know, like, okay, I like the first one. I don't like the idea that the Shazam family's all here now. I think we should have saved this for this movie. Like, this movie, they all get their powers, but whatever. But I thought, a lot of people seem to really hate this one. I thought it was just okay. I did a review of this movie as well, which you can go check out. But to condense it, I like the idea that Billy is trying to keep the family together because everyone's going off and doing their own thing. Like, you know, Mary wants to go to college. Freddie wants more friends and maybe a girlfriend, right? Everyone is kind of splitting off to do their own things. And Billy's trying to keep them together because he doesn't want this family to break apart, because this is really the only family he's really accepted and let in. So he doesn't want that to split. And, you know, there's the fact that he's soon going to turn to an adult, and then he won't be part of that system anymore. And he's like, well, are they just going to kick me out because I'm not part of the system anymore? Which he doesn't want, obviously. So I thought that aspect was really good. You know, the villains, like the three goddesses, whatever. You know, like I said, none of them acted well. They all slept through this garbage. Well, not garbage, but you know what I mean. They didn't care. None of the actresses. Lucy Liu couldn't give a damn. Judi Dench didn't. Not Judi Dench. Why am I blanking on her name? I'm blanking on her name, but it's not Judi Dench. I don't know why I said Judi Dench, but you know who I mean. She was going through this. And that was Rachel Zegler was there as well. She wasn't insufferable in this, but that was before we knew what type of person she was. Well, that's before most of the population knew. People who were keeping up with Gina Carano, people who were keeping up with the whole Gina Carano thing knew what type of person she was. But this was before everyone did. Now we all know the type of person she is. But overall, I gave Shazam! Fury of the Gods a 7. I thought it was just a fine, okay movie. You know, I really didn't understand too much of the hate for this one. The next one was the first movie I saw in theaters this year. The Super Mario Brothers movie. I only saw 2 movies in the theaters this year. That's crazy. Normally, going to the theaters was a thing we do a lot, but I did not go to the theaters like at all this year, and that's, well, who's to blame for that, huh? So the Super Mario Bros. Movie was what I wanted. It stayed true to the Mario lore. It respected the characters, didn't make fun of them, and it was what we wanted. This is the Mario movie we've always wanted, and we finally got it. Yeah, people were making, the memes of Chris Pratt and all that. I thought every actor did a great job. They were all great. There were so many little cameos that, like, if you knew, you knew. This movie was made for the Mario fan. If you were a fan of Mario, this movie is made for you, and they did not care. Why did this movie work? When, you see, like, the critic score, and they're like, oh, this movie, I don't understand this, I don't... It's like, well, yeah, because you're not a fan of Mario. Who would have thought? You make a movie for a specific demographic, and it works. I'm shocked. This movie is an 8 out of 10, easily. Again, I did a review of this. This movie was awesome. I loved this movie. I thought it was really, really good. Own it on physical media. That's how good it was. When a movie's really good, I get it on physical media so I can have it, keep it forever, and that way the dreaded streaming services can't take it from me. The next movie was the last movie I saw in theaters, which was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm a staunch MCU hater. I think Disney Marvel is awful with their products and their messaging. I think it's awful. Stuff like Ant-Man bombed. I make fun of it, I make fun of She-Hulk. I make fun of Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, Miss Marvel, Ant-Man. I laugh at all these failures and I make fun of them because it's very clear that your stupid pandering to to those idiots don't work. And this is a movie that I was actually quite hopeful for because of who was doing it. James Gunn. This is his end of him and Marvel. Everyone loves the Guardians, so there was hope that they could turn this around after just bomb after bomb after bomb. And Disney needed this, not just Marvel, but Disney needed this after just this has been their worst year in freaking how long? And it's their 100th year. Happy birthday. And this movie was really good. It was long. That is the detriment. It is very long. So you do have to cut out a chunk of your time to watch this. But I was happy to have a Marvel movie that just wasn't afraid to be gritty, wasn't afraid to be raw, wasn't afraid to shy away from the bad stuff. And it was nice to just have a movie that didn't want to treat me like I was an idiot or shove a message in my face. It was a movie that was here to entertain me, which is what Disney should be doing. Entertaining, not messaging. You're finding that out the hard way, aren't you? You idiots. Trying to keep this PG. But overall, I thought this movie was great. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I really liked it. Out of the 3 Guardians movies, I think number 1 just can't be topped. Number 2 is good. And number 3 is good. So I don't know where I put it. But I thought it was fine. More than fine. Thought it was great. 8 out of 10. And then we had Justice League War World, which was the next movie in the Tomorrowverse. This is the weakest one. I thought Legion of Superheroes was going to be the weakest one, but no, somehow this was the weakest one. So it's pretty much like they have the War World idea of Mongol and everything, but the way they kind of altered it, I wasn't a huge fan of. War World is, instead of being the gladiatorial pit we know, it's instead like a mind screwy thing. It's very weird. It's a bizarre take, and I didn't like the design of Mongol in this. They made him like a skinny, tall, lanky guy. I'm like, no, Mongol's a huge, hulking beast. Who's like, he's menacing because, yes, he looks menacing, but he also has the brains to back it up. So he's like a smart Hulk in a way, Professor Hulk in a way. Yeah, I thought the movie was fine. It wasn't like, oh, it's got messaging in it that I don't like, or, it's plain dog awful. It's just okay. and I just didn't agree with some of the directions they took it. And this is more a setup movie than an actual movie. This movie just sets up the next one. That's all this is. So I gave it a 6 out of 10 because while it's not bad, it is more of a setup than anything. And then the final movie is Hidden Strike. This was on Netflix. This is the movie that John Cena and Jackie Chan did. And again, I thought it was just an okay movie. It's a go back to old school, just action movies that you don't think too much about the plot. You just enjoy the carnage and destruction. There's a basic plot that is very easy to follow, and you just go with it. Big mogul guy wants to rack up money, so he, wants to sell oil, all that's that. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10, because again, it's just fine. I'll never probably watch it again. It's fine. And those are the movies I watched this year. Very, very low 2023 movies. Hopefully 2024 looks like it's going to be a better lineup of movies. And stuff I'm actually pretty excited for. Like, I want to see Argyle, Dune Part 2, Deadpool 3 I want to see. I want to see Sonic 3. There's stuff in there that I'm kind of... I'll see, like, Garfield. We'll see how that goes. Kraven the Hunter. Okay, we'll see how that goes. There's stuff in there that I'm like, sounds intriguing, but it could end up being bad, like Kung Fu Panda 4, Despicable Me 4, Joker 2. Like, these sound good, but they could end up bad, and I'm very skeptical. But this does look like a much better year, and does look like there will actually be movies I do want to see in theaters. Like, I want to see Sonic 3 in theaters. I want to see Deadpool 3 in theaters. Garfield I want to see in theaters. Dune Part 2 I'm seeing in theaters. If Kung Fu Panda 4 is good, I will see that in theaters. Same thing with Despicable Me 4. I will see that in theaters. Kraven, we'll see. But yeah, that's going to do it. Those are my thoughts on the movies this year. What was your favorite movie of the year? Let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you all for the next one.